everyone, welcome back to Maths with Ease. I am Ayushi, and in this video I am going to do an analysis of the IIT JAM syllabus for mathematics for 2021. Basically the syllabus remains the same somewhat every year. Okay, now you can find the detailed syllabus on any of the websites. Just type on Google IIT JAM syllabus 2020 for mathematics, or for just IIT JAM syllabus 2020. And then various sites would be there which will be giving you the entire description, the detailed syllabus, which would be mentioning the various topics which are going to be there, right? Okay, now basically the entire syllabus of IIT JAM for mathematics is divided into 6 subjects. So there are 6 broad subjects which are going to be there. First is okay, so since I do not have a board, so I am going to speak everything, so you need to listen to everything very carefully. Okay, now the first subject is integral calculus, the second subject is vector calculus, third subject is your linear algebra, fourth subject is your group theory, fifth subject is your vector calculus. I think I have mentioned vector calculus earlier. Fifth subject is your differential equations, and sixth subject is your real analysis. Okay, so these 6 are the broad classification of the syllabus. Now as the syllabus which is given by IIT JAM, as the syllabus which is given on the IIT JAM website by the organizing institute, there are 9 subjects. Okay, what they have done, they have just divided the real analysis syllabus into 4 categories. So real analysis is divided into 4 categories. First is your topology of real numbers, second is your sequences and series of real numbers, then third is your functions of one variables, real variable, and fourth is your functions of 2 or 3, 2 or more, that is several variables. Okay, so these 4 are the categories. So if you combine those 5 parts, this real analysis is divided into 4 categories, right? 5 plus 4 totals to 9. Okay, so you can study by considering the syllabus into 9 parts or 6 parts accordingly, but it would be better if you consider total 9 parts. Okay, 9 parts. I am again going to mention those 9 parts so that you can note it down somewhere. Okay, the first is your vector calculus, then second is your integral calculus, third is differential equations, fourth is linear algebra, fifth is group theory, sixth is function of one variables, seventh is function of several variables, then your 8th is sequences and series of real numbers, and 9th is your topology of R. Okay, so these 9 are the topics which are going to be there in the syllabus. Now I am also going to do a bit analysis of it by actually telling you guys, because of course if you are interested in doing MSc in mathematics, you must have many of you must have done BSc in mathematics. Okay, now our BSc syllabus, particularly in Delhi University and otherwise also, is designed in such a way that it just covers up everything for this particular entrance, the entire syllabus. Now I am going to tell you whether the portion which is taught in our BSc syllabus, that portion would be enough for this particular entrance or not. Okay, for various subjects it is different for various subjects. Okay, now first we're starting with the vector calculus. Okay, now the syllabus for vector calculus which is there in our BSc, it is just not enough. Okay, because vector calculus requires lot of practice questions and it involves a lot of solving various kinds of integrals. Okay, now so that wouldn't be enough. So my suggestion is that you could just read the theory from your BSc syllabus and just practice the questions by some practice book. Okay, now coming to integral calculus, I feel the same for integral calculus. Okay, so you can just do the same thing for both of these. Okay, coming to third part, which is differential equations, I feel that the portion of differential equations which are taught in our BSc syllabus, it is completely sufficient to do this, because they have given various in that book of differential equations which is taught in our BSc syllabus, that is apt because sufficient theory is there and sufficient number of questions are there. Also the questions of differential equations which come in this paper are pretty direct, so they can be solved by that. So for differential equations you can refer your BSc part only. Particularly if I am talking about if you are a Delhi University person, or you have complete your BSc from Delhi University. Okay, now coming to your fourth part, which is linear algebra. Now to prepare linear algebra for this entrance, you can completely refer your BSc syllabus only. I think that is sufficient. Plus all the theory can be done from BSc part, plus for some kind of questions are there which are really tricky and which can't be solved just by the knowledge of that BSc part. So for that you need a practice book for linear algebra. So I would analyze that 50% can be done from the BSc part and 50% can be done from the practice book for linear algebra. Okay, now I think I've covered 4 topics. Now the 5th topic is sequences and series of real numbers. Now the sequences and the portion of sequences and series of real numbers which is taught in your BSc syllabus, that is sufficient for you to do all the questions or do most of the questions of this particular entrance, because sequences and series of real numbers basically involves you to learn all the various tests of convergence of the sequences and series, and some other parts are there which are very well covered in your book which is taught in Delhi University of Real Analysis, that is your Bartle and Sherwood. So it is very well covered out there, so you can refer that only for real analysis. Okay, so this was the 5th subject, I guess. Yeah. Now coming to the 6th subject, which is function of one real variable. Okay, now this function of one real variable, it is not completely there anywhere in the BSc part, but for that you need to have the entire knowledge of functions. Okay, now everything about the functions and different kind of functions, and basically it involves the part of quantity, differentiability and limits kind of stuff. So this particular part involves lots and lots of practice questions, and it can't be done from your BSc syllabus. Okay, now coming to our, I just forgot the count. Coming to the next subject, function of several variables. Now this function of several variables, it is there in your BSc syllabus of Delhi University, and according to me this entire thing, it can be the BSc syllabus is sufficient for doing this. Okay, if you just do the BSc syllabus which is there, all the theory and the questions, all the exercises which are there in that book which is there for Delhi University, then it is completely sufficient and you will be able to solve each and every questions, because the questions for function of several variables are pretty direct and they can just be solved by applying the various formulas and various applying just the theory. Okay, now I have talked about function of several variables. What is left? Coming to topology in R. So topology in R, this is a subject which plays a very, it has a very less weightage in the entrance exam, and it is not covered everywhere. But of course, if you have studied metric spaces in your BSc, then you have studied about open sets, closed sets, connectedness, compactness and all. So from that you can relate to this, but the questions come of a higher level, so you need to practice them from a practice book, right? So for real analysis I've talked about. Now coming to group theory, I think only group theory is left. Yeah. So the group theory, there is a very popular book which is taught in Delhi University. Okay, that is Gallian for group theory only. Okay. Now this Gallian book, it has a great theory part. Okay, so all the theory part can be covered from there, and if you just cover the theory part, you will be able to do 50% of the questions of group theory. But for rest of the questions, you need a lot of practice, and for that you need a practice book. Okay, so I think I have covered all the 9 parts, and now concluding for now I am going to conclude that for which of the parts you which of the subjects you actually need to refer practice books, and for which of the subjects the BSc syllabus is sufficient. And I'm particularly talking about Delhi University syllabus. And of course this if you have done the topics which are mentioned in the JAM website, okay, the detailed syllabus in your BSc from whichever university you are, then this is applied to you as well. Okay, now I'm just concluding. Okay, so first I'm going to mention the subjects for which practice book is required. They are your integral calculus, then vector calculus, then topology of R, and function of one variables. Okay, now for the subjects in which the BSc part is sufficient, they are differential equations, sequence and series of real numbers, and function of several variables. Okay, now 2 subjects are left which are group theory and linear algebra, and I feel like for these 2 subjects 50% of both the parts are involved. Okay, so I hope that this was all about the analysis, and I hope that I have given you a brief idea about the entire thing. And thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and press the like button if you really liked the video, and keep watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye.